let me turn this air compressor off. Okay, so sorry for the loud noise, but so I got all the fans running, got the door wide open, got the saw on my vise, and you can hear how it's way fat. It's way rich on the bottom end. That's why it just like blah. You know, and then you get up in the top end and it's still just way fat. I don't know what the proper term for it is, but that's why it just like bogs down. You know, if you kind of feather it up there, you know, then it'll get up there. But anyway, so this saw right here, I actually rebuilt this saw back last year. I put a new cylinder, a new piston in it because the owner, he got his gas jugs mixed up and he poured straight gas in it and blew it up, essentially. So I got his piston and his cylinder around here somewhere, but it doesn't matter. But the exhaust port was all scarred up and everything, and so that's the deal on that. Oh, my bad. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, how you do? So what I'm thinking is, that now that he's ran it, you know, period, and he doesn't like cut trees for a living. He just uses it every once in a while, maybe once a month, you know, once every 2 months, something like that. So what I'm thinking is now that cylinder and that piston, now that he's used it for a little while, it's gotten broken in, and I just need to tweak the tune now that everything's kind of got where, you know, it's happy and it wants to be. So, you know, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna bore you with all that. So yes, I do have ear protection. You know, but I'm gonna just, you know, lean it out just a little bit on the low end, and then or at it's idling good. It's idling a little high, but it's idling good. I've got it warmed up, you know. I let it idle for 15-20 minutes before I brought it in here. So, you know, so it's up to operating temperature. And like I said, I'm gonna start out, I'm gonna turn the idle down just a little bit because it's idling a little bit high. And then I'm gonna, you know, turn down the low speed jet. I'm gonna lean it out a little bit where it's not so fat, where it'll pop on up. And then I'm gonna tune the high speed to, I want to leave him conservative. If it was one of my saws, I would tune it to, you know, 12.5, 13,000 out of the wood. That way, once you get into wood, it cuts fast. But if you do that and somebody else is running it and they don't know, and they, you know, run it dull or whatever, then, I mean, you'll blow it up in a heartbeat. My saws I do different than customers because I know how I'm going to run saws. His, like I said, I'm on conservative, you know, more in the 11.5 range, 11,500, and then, you know, get it where the throttle response is not so you know, where it's wow, you know. So, all right, okay, not gonna bore y'all with the tuning. So, but maybe at some point in time I will, once I get a little bit better at it. But now it's just I tune more by ear than I do anything. So I've got a wireless tack, fast tack. So yeah, But, and so that's where I set like the high and the low. But everything in the middle, I just do by ear. So, and the bad thing is there's some videos out there to teach you, and then there's other ones that aren't very good. So a lot of it you just kind of have to teach yourself. So, okay, let me get to that. Be right back. Alright, so tried tuning the saw. And if you're wondering why I have my hood up, it's because all the fans are on and the door's open and it's cold outside. But I tried tuning the saw. Hold on one second. Alright, sorry about that. So, tried tuning the saw, and I knew pretty quick it just wasn't going to do it. And I've ran into this before with other saws. So, as I told you back sometime last year, I put a cylinder and a piston in this saw. Well, I was hoping that, you know, it got broke in, it just needed to be retuned. That's not the case. It has an air leak somewhere. It has a vacuum leak or a pressure side leak. I don't know how to explain those. Somewhere, either on the oil seals in the crankcase or on the tube that goes from the carburetor down to the crankcase. I know I replaced the tube. I can't remember if I replaced the oil seals or not. This saw is actually pretty new. Well, it's a 2018, but he doesn't. Yeah, it's 2018. Sorry, I was looking at that. But it's just a homeowner saw. I mean, he runs it maybe 5-6 times a year. You know, I mean, he gets it out and he runs it. It's not like one of those people that, you know, they get it out, run it for a day, put it back in the garage and let it sit there for a year. I mean, he gets it out and he runs it. So, hey, just going to start tearing into it, and I've got a kit, a pressure vac kit that I can put on it, and I can figure out where the leak's coming from. You know, if it's the oil seals, then the whole saw's got to come apart. If it's the carburetor, then I can just replace the carburetor. But generally, it's not the carburetor. Generally, it's the tube that goes down there, or it's the oil seals. But I mean, it could be any one of them. And the telltale sign, the absolute telltale sign is, and this 100% disagree with me if you want to. If you've got a better idea, comment. I'm all ears. I don't claim to be a chainsaw mechanic. I do this on the side. I work on all my saws, and I work on anybody that wants me to work on their saw. I work on it. So, you know, I don't claim to be an expert by any means, and I'm not. So, but the telltale sign is it idles fine, but it's sluggish going up on throttle, and it won't ever hit the top end. It won't ever hit that power band. Then, as soon as you put it in a piece of wood, the second you just get it, as soon as it sniffs the wood, it just falls on its face. So, that tells me that it's got an air leak. That right there. And I've actually got a Husqvarna still hanging on my ceiling, and I told that guy the same thing, and I said, look, man, I'm not going into a Husqvarna. call me spoiled, but I said, look, man, I'm just not, I'm not doing it. And I already knew he didn't want to spend, you know, $100, $200 on the saw anyway. So I was just like, look, man, you know, you can, like, I'm much more familiar with Stihl than I am Husqvarna. So I just told him, I was like, I'm not tearing it. I'm not tearing your Husqvarna all the way down. You know, I'm sorry. This is your problem. It's got an air leak somewhere, and you're welcome to come get your saw whenever you want. No hard feelings. You don't owe me anything. Nothing. You know. So, and I had several hours into that saw, and I put some parts on it. I replaced the carburetor, did several other things. I mean, I had probably 40, 50 bucks into it, but I felt bad because I was just like, no, I'm not. I've gone as far as I want to go with it. So you don't owe me anything, and you come get your saw. Guess what? Saw's still hanging on my ceiling. Never has come get it. I've offered to take it to him. I was 2, 3 years ago. Yeah. I mean, and running, it's like a $400 or $500 chainsaw. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm gonna start tearing into this thing. I'm waiting for it to cool down right now. I'm gonna take the chain off, sharpen it. Any of my customer saws that come in here, or actually just any saws that comes into my shop, I clean them thoroughly. I dress the bar, sharpen the chain, take a look at the drags. Take a look at the drags. If the drag needs anything, you know, then I'll do those. The rakers, you know, whatever you want to call them. But I clean it thoroughly, sharpen it, dress the bar before it ever leaves out. So while I'm waiting on it to cool down, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the covers off, sharpen the chain, dress the bar. That way that's done, and then I can start taking the carburetor off and start running my pressure test and my back test. And I won't be 100% honest with you, I'm gonna have to go back and watch a YouTube video and brush up on how to do that, because it's been a couple years since I've done one. I know pretty much how to do it, but I need to go freshen up, you know. I need to freshen up. So, and I don't do these every single day, you know. So maybe the end of the video, maybe not. I don't know. Depend on. It's 5:30, so I got. Oh, yeah. No, I got one more thing I want to tell y'all, but let me go ahead and get started on this, and then I'll come back and tell y'all that here in a little while. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so I gotta apologize. I've been trying to fix this fogginess that's up here, but I can't fix it. So I don't know if it's still smoke from the chainsaw or what, but I left the fans on for a while. But anyway, so got the chain sharp, blew the saw out some more, got it cleaned up. It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. Blew the bar out, blew the cover out, cleaned everything up real good. It has been raining all day. All day. And the job that I had scheduled for tomorrow, the yard was already semi kind of wet before today. We could have made it, but we'd had to lay plywood down and everything, and it would have been fine. Now, even if we lay plywood down, it's no bueno. Not gonna be good. So I told the crew, I said, look, just Don't worry about tomorrow. We're gonna hit it hard on Tuesday, and hopefully the sun will pop out a little bit and dry it out tomorrow. We're probably gonna be doing maintenance on Tuesday. Uh, but Abby's gonna be grinding stumps tomorrow. I'm gonna work on this chainsaw because it's gonna take me a while to diagnose this and figure it out. Like I said, this is not something that I do just every single day. I work on mine because it takes the shop too long to work on. So, which is bad because this saw's been in here for a while and I hadn't got it fixed yet. But I just started working on it. Whole nother story for a whole nother day. Not perfect, all right? But like I said, it's 7 o'clock on Sunday. So I want to end the video off with this. Please listen to me. In church this morning, Brother Jacob was speaking in 1 John chapter 2. And it's really good. I mean, I know it was something I needed to hear. So 1 John chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. But there's two main verses you need to hear in here. So verse 1, my little children, these things I write to you so that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with a capital A. We have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. Okay. So, then verse number 4 says that, now this is where it gets really deep. Okay. Verse number 4 says, he who says, I know him, capital H, meaning God. He who says, I know him, and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Okay, so, real quick, because I mean, essentially what he's saying is that if you, I mean, I grew up in the Bible Belt of the South. I still live in the Bible Belt of the South. If you ask 90% of the people here, oh, are you a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah. Of course, I'm a Christian. But then you look at the way they dress, the way they act, the way they carry themselves, the way that they speak to other people, the way they treat other people. And granted, you know, I mean, I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody, okay? But you can look at somebody and you can tell. Look, let's take Jesus out of it for a second, okay? You can look at somebody and you can tell whether they're a good person or not a good person. And I'm not meaning like look at them, you know, just see somebody walking down the street. I'm saying you can spend time with somebody, work with them, coworkers, you know, not just one instance of one day. That's not what I'm saying. But you can spend a substantial amount of time with someone. Say you work with them for 2 or 3 years. You can tell whether this person's a good person or not such a good person. Whether they have Jesus or not. I've worked with people who were agnostic. And they were great people. They were good, moral people. They didn't lie. They didn't cheat on their wives. or wife. Sorry, they didn't cheat on their wife. You know, they tried to treat everyone with respect, but they didn't believe in Jesus. But they were still good people. So that's what I'm saying is you can kind of tell um, when somebody is different. Okay, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm a Christian. I don't use foul language. I do my best. I do my absolute best not to use foul language. Extremely rarely do I ever use foul language. Ever. And I mean ever. It's been probably 2 years since I used a curse word. And then after I did, I went back and I apologized to the people that I was talking to. And I said, look, I am sorry. I let my anger get the best of me. And I'm very sorry. And I wasn't cursing at them. I was just, it was a really bad situation. So, here's the thing. Verse 4. So, 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. He who says, I know him, and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So, what that says right there is that if you say that you know him, but yet you're going out and whore hopping every, Friday, Saturday night, and you never attempt to go to church, you never attempt to follow God, you always mad all the time. I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, just, all these characteristics of not a good person. It says you're a liar. I mean, you don't know him. All you do is you just say that you do. Okay. Now, God knew that we were going to sin. He knew that we were not going to be perfect. That's why he sent his son Jesus down on the cross to save us from our sins. So, that's why verse 1 says, and if anyone sins, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous. Okay? So, essentially, God is saying, okay, I realize you're going to mess up. But I have made a way for you, the imperfect, to get to heaven through my perfect Son, Jesus. So, praise the good Lord for that, because I promise you, I sin a lot. Okay? Now, that doesn't give you just a hall pass to go do whatever you want and just say, oh, well, hey, I can sin all I want because I got Jesus. No, that's exactly what he's saying in the verses down there, is that if you're just actively just doing whatever you want and you don't care, then you don't have Jesus. And when I say that I am a Christian, I am actively trying to follow Christ. I mean, I want to, because God's way is the best way. Not John's way. Trust me, I've tried John's way. John's way sucks. Okay. I want to do things God's way. So sorry, I'm trying to get my words together, but I want to follow him, and I pray all the time, Lord, just what do you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do, and thanking him, Lord, thank you, just thank you. So, I mean, just humbling yourself before God. So, so I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope I explained it correctly. Also, I don't call myself a pastor. I promise you, I'm a sinner falling short very short of the glory of God. And I need his forgiveness every single day. So, thankfully, he provided me a wonderful wife that helps keep me on track, because he knew I needed her. So there you go. Yeah. So that was First John, not John, but First John. It's in the back, right before you get to Revelation, chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. Alrighty. Well, pray for me. Hopefully I can get this chainsaw fixed, and Abby can get some stump grinding done. If y'all need any prayer requests, hey, it's always open. I hope I don't have to ask you. I hope I don't have to wear a t-shirt that says I'm a Christian so you know I'm a Christian. I hope you just can see by my actions and by my words that that I praise the Lord and I love him for everything that he's allowed me to have. Most importantly is my salvation. So, y'all have a blessed day. Remember, Jesus loves you. And as always, deuces, homies.